Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. Today we have Tyler and Samuel on, and we're going to talk all about, well, hey, are we going to leave this oppressive regime in Canada and move down to Florida like so many other real estate investors are, or aren't we? So hopefully you guys enjoy. Comment down below if you are planning to make a move. If not Florida, where are you going to go? And definitely smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe if you haven't already. Samuel, Tyler, welcome to the show, my friends. We get double bang for our buck today because, Tyler just happens to be in Florida visiting Samuel, preparing to buy a house in Florida. And we have Samuel on the show because he's buying houses in Florida, helping people buy houses in Florida. And he's also sharing a lot of information about getting your E2 visitor visa.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, Mark.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right, well, let's talk about Tyler. Tyler, what is this house you're buying? Like what? So how did it happen? Like what? Tell us the story.
Sure. Yeah. So, my name is Tyler. I'm out of Niagara Falls in Canada, and I generally send out flyers every couple of months looking for properties. And a couple of months ago, a lady called me and she's like, "Hey, I actually have a house in Florida. Would you be interested in buying a house in Florida?" And in my mind, I'm like, well, we're flipping in Niagara Falls. We got a couple of projects on the go, but then I'm thinking like, hey, this is a great opportunity. I'll buy a house in Florida if it's the right, followed up with her a little bit. Started talking to her in December. So I've been in contact with her for 2 months or so now. And I told her, I was like, look, I'll fly to Florida, take a look at your property. She's like, yeah, I'll be here until the 25th or 26th. So I'm like, perfect. Showed up to Sam's place yesterday in Fort Lauderdale, buying this property. It'd be a great vacation rental. And you know what? I'm really excited for it. It's a new challenge. Get to learn about the Florida market. Mm-hmm. And it's a great way to take action and actually make something happen here in Florida for me. So I'm super excited with that.
So how did she get your name and number?
Yeah, from a flyer campaign I did probably, I think in November. We sent out flyers. Haven't sent out flyers lately, but sent out a lot of flyers.
You sent out flyers in what, like Niagara Falls?
Niagara Falls. So she actually has a house in Niagara Falls and she was checking the mail and she received my flyer. So she lives in Burlington, but she has a couple of properties in Niagara Falls and then one in Florida. So it turns out it was her father's house and he recently passed away. So that's when she brought it up to me. She's like, I have a house in Florida if you're interested. And instantly I'm like, I am 100% down to buy a house in Florida. Yeah. Even if I just keep it as a primary residence, you know what I mean? It's great opportunity. So I literally flew.
Can you share some quick numbers with us? As much information as you want to give, great. And as little, like the more information, obviously, the better for YouTube, though. So,
yeah, sure. So regarding the numbers, we're looking to get it somewhere in the mid 400s at this point. When she called me, she mentioned to me that there's a lot of mold in the house. So Sam actually went to go take a look at the property, and he did confirm that there was mold quite a bit. So right now, she's actually taking care of all of that, and she's actually going to be updating the property for me. Now, do I want it to be fully updated? Preferably not. So we came in with an offer originally in the high 300s, but now since she's going to update the whole property, I'm looking to get it for somewhere in the mid 400s. Still need to confirm, but that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. We know that area, if we put on Airbnb, we're looking at somewhere around $50,000-$60,000 a year in income. So I'm
that is the projection from like AirDNA.
From AirDNA.
So it's $65K a year.
So AirDNA is probably about 15 to 20% light, from my experience.
Yeah. Has it been? Okay. Well,
at least like, so I ran mine in Canmore, and they like, I don't know what we're at revenue wise, but they were decently light on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, most people who are on Airbnb, they only have one Airbnb. They're not trying to, build an Airbnb business. So, even if you done like a basic course online, like you're probably ahead of your competition and can make more money than most people on it. For
sure. So mid 400s, revenue of say, let's call it $55,000 per year. Mm-hmm. And what is it? 4-bedroom, 3-bath? What's
3-bed, 3-bath?
Yeah. The master bedroom main floor too.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty common down there, isn't it?
Oh, but like 30-foot ceilings. What's cool about this? It's a California style build home. In Florida, away from the ocean. So you're looking at a really nice house for 400 to 500 range. She originally offered Tyler like 420K.
Yeah, she did say she would take 425. Just because at that time I wasn't able to actually see the house and I was going by photos and I didn't know how much mold. I didn't feel confident in offering more than that, more than 380. So now that I've seen the place, if she renovates the whole property, I'm sure it makes sense in the mid to high 400s if she'll bite on that, right? We're still in the negotiations. She's very flexible. I've been working with her. We're talking to her for a little while now. And I think I told her I'm looking to close probably at some point in April. I've got 3 or 4 flips right now in Niagara region. So I want to make sure some of those sell before I buy this property. So looking to close on it by the springtime. So I'll definitely have an update by that point of what happens. So
nice. And Samuel, so you moved down to Florida full time in 2020, right?
No, so I think it was July 1st is when I left Canada to start traveling. So
Okay.
I've been honestly for the past 2 years, like up and down North America, lived in Mexico, looked at some real estate down there, did San Diego, San Francisco, Texas, and now in Florida. So my girlfriend, she's an investor and also an American. So we thought, wow, these Airbnb hosts that we're paying every month are sure making a really good check from us. So why don't we become the host? Like we should be able to figure this out.
So you started up an Airbnb business?
Operated in the past. Yeah, so our company's called Ghost State Eclectic. We got the first rental down here in Florida. And, really what we want to do is do something that we would have fun and interest us. So our plan isn't to go like, oh, we got one property in Florida, let's go get 100 more. But yeah, we were looking for a property that we would really, really enjoy ourselves. So, a little bit of emotions behind that decision. But, by the holidays, they came up and we put it on Airbnb. So we didn't think we'd even get it on Airbnb in time for this year. But we're heading over to California for the holidays and we're gone for 14 days. So I was like, why don't we just, try to get everything done before then and see if we get any bookings. Well, sure enough, we got some bookings over the holidays. I think we made $7,000 for 8 days rented.
Wow.
At this property. So, it's generating a lot of cash. Now, we obviously haven't made a profit yet. We're putting money into renos. We had to furnish the place, all that stuff. But for
and
us,
obviously you're staying there. So
yeah, so
it's not available for rental right now.
Yeah, exactly. And for us, we really just wanted a property where we could hit net zero if we live there and while we're traveling. Now that we got this property, we realized, well, we should get another one like close by. So if someone books us out here, we can just cruise a couple minutes down the road and go to a place and not have to go fly somewhere else. And we got dogs. So that's kind of where we're thinking next. And then we do want properties internationally, just in cities that we enjoy. So we can kind of travel freely around the world and, hopefully make some money too from those investments. But, even with some of them, if they don't completely, become the most profitable things ever, we'll probably be happy with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw the video that I did on Canmore. I got my condo there and again, it's paying for itself and then some. And, we get to go out and enjoy the beautiful mountains and enjoy that. Right. So I don't know, maybe Florida is my next short-term rental market for me. And I just, I use it every now and again, fly down on a weekend or take a Monday to Wednesday or something, take a nice little weekend there. All right. Well, yeah. And I know that how we really got connected was on a post, and we were connected on Facebook before, but how we really got introduced was a post about an E2 visa.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
So obviously, I've kind of stayed out of it. I left Canada before things really got heated, but it seems like a lot of people are very motivated to move down to the US or just outside of Canada. And, obviously to do that, you need to get a visa somewhere. So I'm going through the E2 visa process now. As a Canadian, you get a 6 months travel visa to the US and Mexico just handed to you. So as long as you're not going to these countries to work, so if if you have investments up in Canada or a business up in Canada, you can travel these countries, and yeah, you're making money, but you're not working these countries. That's considered traveling. To the best of my non-lawyer knowledge. So always ask a lawyer about this stuff because I'm just Sam.
Quick disclosure.
Yeah.
Quick disclosure.
Quick disclosure. But yeah, so that's how I got started. I was like, well, I want to travel around a bit. I don't even really know where I want to settle down. Been to the States a handful of times, so let's travel, and we'll figure out that visa process once we kind of have a better long-term vision of like where we'll end up. So that's how I got started, and then now what I'm doing for the E2 process. I mean, this is what my lawyer told me, and I was looking for the simplest solution. I want a guarantee on this E2 visa. So can you walk me through the process and how it worked? And he basically said, and anybody listening, if they want to talk to him and get it from him, I'd be happy to connect you. But he told me if I invest 100,000 USD into a business such as like a laundromat, coffee shop, convenience store, something like a brick and mortar that'd be considered an active business. He said, if you work with me, it can pretty much guarantee that you'll get this visa into the US. I was like, well, that sounds pretty good to me.
What does that do for tax purposes?
Well,
because obviously you're still Canadian resident, still Canadian taxpayer. So how does that work for tax purposes? Do you know?
Well, yeah, I do and I don't. I just get an accountant who's cross-border handle this. Best thing you could do. If you don't, you'll probably end up paying double tax. A lot of people say, but really, from my understanding, it's like when I get that E2 visa, that actually lets me to start paying taxes in the US.
Well, yeah, if you can cash flow and you can move, you can buy something in a place like Florida that has the highest growth rate of any state in the US, right? People are just moving in there. I think it's 1,000 people a day or something. I forget what it was. It was a pretty high number.
It's like 300,000 per year or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw California was losing 300,000 per year. So
yeah, and they're going to Nevada or Texas or Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I spent 5 months in Texas, and yeah, the market's hot there. Yeah, people are moving there, but not the same way that you're seeing down in Florida. Yeah. And the reason why for that, I feel like, Texas is just a bit closer to California. A lot of times, for the holidays, I flew from Florida to California, and usually you're stopping in Dallas or Houston and then going to California. So I think for a lot of Californians that are like, they're not looking to, go completely across the coast. It's like, let's go central, and then I can fly back home if I need to. But I think just kind of the other thing here is like, you got the ocean, you got the nice weather all year round, and that it's a very Mike said it best yesterday.
Kind of like a shiny object in a sense.
Shiny object, trophy market. I'd say more people in Florida. This is what I would say. More people who are looking to make an investment in the US, if they're considering Florida versus Texas, that Florida investment will be more emotionally driven than the Texas deal. They'll probably be more, not really feel too emotional about it. Maybe they will, but here it's like you got the beach, the sun, the good vibes, and everything that comes with that, all the hype.
Well, look what happened to me. Like Sam literally just texted me in the morning. He's like, "Hey, you should come to Florida. Here's the flight. Like it's like $120 to fly here." I literally bought the ticket within like an hour. So obviously there's some emotion behind that to get here as soon as possible too, right? So
that's fair. I mean, I paid $120 to fly out to Calgary. I don't know.
Yeah, the flight I think was $122 for one-way flight to Florida from Toronto. So I'm like, that's a steal. Like
it was stupid low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, so E2 visa, obviously you're buying cash flowing properties. I mean, if you're going to manage it and Airbnb it, anything else you guys want to share before we cut the recording?
If you're curious, pay $120 for a flight out here and take a look. Like, there's no way of truly figuring it out if it's good for you if you just think about it all day at home, right? Like,
and it's going to be the biggest opportunity for you. And it really has. Like, there's been so many blessings that came into my life that I've never seen coming, and connected me to so many interesting people who, and I talk to them every single day. Would have never met them unless I took that giant, scary leap. And then I now like things are a little bit more. If you really want to do this, don't look at it as like an obstacle. Look at it as the biggest opportunity. And that on the other side, if you go through it and you succeed, it could be the biggest thing that's happened to you yet.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us here. We really appreciate it, and hope you guys watching on YouTube got a lot out of this. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys down in Florida. We'll play around the golf.
Awesome.
Hey, man, anytime. There's 2 golf courses by the house I'm looking at, so let's make it happen.
There you go.
All right, let's do it.